Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elise. Today I'm going to do a clean and simple spinner card and also going to show you a neat mirrored stamping technique with the Waffle Flower Crafts mini media mat. Here's a look at the card that we're going to make today. Let's jump into it. So I've got my supplies. I've got the Waffle Flower Crafts Tutu Cute stamp set illustrated by Camo, and I am going to do a die cut with no image. And that is so that I can have it and have the guide when I do my mirrored stamping. You can see I've got some of the other images already stamped off to the side. In order to smooth out some of those edges, because I'm going to use the back side of the die cut for my mirrored stamping, I'm just running my bone folder over it to smooth out any edges, and this makes it look perfect. Now I'm going to do my mirrored stamping. So I've got my water media mat, the mini, loaded into my original size Misti, and I'm going to use some VersaFine ONYX black to do my mirrored stamping. So I've lined up that stamped image into the negative of the die cut. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that twice so I get a really good impression. It's best to use pigment ink for this technique, I have found. I'm just holding down that guide, and then I'm going to lay my die cut in. And of course, you can really only do this once. I'm pressing down really, really firmly to make sure that I get it all covered. Of course, because this is in my Misti, I could stamp this again if I don't get a good impression, but I'm trying to get the best impression I can. And then I need to lift up very, very gently so to avoid any smudges. And now what I have is the opposite of the die cut. So you can see what it was supposed to be, and then I have the opposite mirrored image. This is such a cool technique to do, and the water media mat makes this possible. I am now going to do my coloring. The focus of this video really wasn't coloring, so I've got it pretty much sped up, but I'm using some Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I love these markers so much. I think once you find your favorite combinations, your favorite color combos, it makes this, using these markers, a lot more fun. At first, I didn't feel like I knew what my favorite combos were, but now that I have them, I really love using these markers. So I'm laying down my darkest color first, and then I will go in with my lighter color and just blend it out. So for this, it is blue and English lavender. That's what their dresses are going to be. So just going in, and there's not a ton of shading to this. It's a pretty simple card, and I didn't feel like the images needed a ton of shading. So just gonna go through here and do my coloring. While I'm coloring, I will say, so right now Waffle Flower Crafts is doing a really fun, some really fun giveaways and things. They are celebrating 6 years in business, which is really a great accomplishment. I am on their design team. I've loved so much being on their team. The staff at Waffle Flower are just so amazing. Nina, the owner, is so sweet. I just love what they stand for and love what they're doing. So, but right now, to celebrate, basically every day we're celebrating one of the illustrators. So today, as you watch this, Wednesday, April the 1st, we're celebrating Camo, the illustrator, and the different illustrators and the way that they honor the artists is one of the reasons why I love Waffle Flower Crafts so much. Every stamp set has the illustrator's name on it, and there's not a lot of companies that do that. So I really admire that about them. But so if you go to their YouTube and their Facebook and their Instagram, they are doing giveaways. So I will have the links to those platforms for Waffle Flower linked down below. Every day a new giveaway. They're giving away bundles of their favorite stamp sets from these illustrators. They're giving away $50 gift cards. There's a lot that you can win, so be sure that you go over there and give them a follow so that you can see these different giveaways and be sure that you enter, because there's so many good prizes to be won. So best of luck to you, and I hope that you go visit those and enter, and I hope that you win. I'm now just coloring the little curtains for the stage. Now, you'll see in the end, I end up adding a second one of these curtains and kind of doing die cut surgery, cutting one of the curtains and adhering it onto the other so that instead of like having 3 swoops at the top, I have 4 because it just better fit the window that I die cut for the spinner. With 3, my little dancing girl was getting caught. So now I need to move on to doing the die cutting. So I'm just lining up this square, and this square will be where my spinner, it's the window for my spinner basically. These squares come from Waffle Flower as well, from some of their nesting dies. All of the supplies that I'm using today are listed down below. So once I have that lined up where I want it, I am going to use that same piece where I have die cut out the window, because I taped it on the outside. I can use that again to die cut onto the card base so that I have a window going through perfectly. So now I have cut my sentiment in half, done a little bit of stamp surgery, and I'm sorry for the glare with my lights. I need to figure out a way to fix that so that there aren't glares on my Misti all the time. And it says it's your day to twirl birthday girl. So this is a really cute little birthday card. Using that same VersaFine ONYX black ink pad again to stamp down my sentiment. Hitting that twice just to get the best impression. The joy of the Misti. And now I can go ahead and build my card. So I'm going to build the spinner element. I'm just using some embroidery floss. This is like a metallic embroidery floss, and it's one of those 6 strands, and I don't want all 6 strands. I don't need all 6, so I basically just split it in half, put the other strands to the side, and that way it can be a little bit of a thinner element so that it's a little more transparent. You could use fishing wire for this. I just don't have any. I'm using some Post-it tape to get this down, and I am using my grid mat to try to make this as straight as possible, and I am adhering down that string really, really tight so that it is tight throughout the window. If there's slack, your card will not spin as well. So now that I have got that down, and in the end, it ends up being glued more than just the Post-it tape, because when I glue this card front on to the base, you'll be able to see a little bit better. It'll be adhered together better. So now I'm going to glue on my little spinner element. I'm using liquid glue, Gina K Connect glue, my favorite liquid glue, and adhering some to the back of one of these girls, and I'll just place this string right on top of her, and then use the other die cut and sandwich the string in between the 2 little dancers. So that way on the front and on the back they're the same. To make sure that sticks down, I'm just adding some acrylic blocks, and I'm going to leave that for a second so that it can dry. Now I am gluing my card front to my card base, which again also has that little square die cut window, and going to make sure that these are lined up. It's really easy because I have that square to see where this card front needs to go. And as you can see now, the little 3-panel curtain just isn't wide enough. So I think I'm done, and then I was practicing with it and it didn't work out. So here is my 4 panels, and I'm just adding some foam tape. I adhered the curtains with foam tape, and so I'm just adding some to the sides to make sure that they stay down. And sadly, in all of my video footage, I did not have a video of the card spinning. So I'll just explain to you now. To make your card spin, what you need to do is turn what is in the middle until it is really tight, close your card front, and then when the recipient opens it, the little girl will spin in the window. So I have already mailed this card out, so I don't have it to add extra footage in. I'm so sorry, but I did want to explain that to you, how that's going to work. There's a lot of spinner card videos out there on YouTube, so check out one of those if you want to see the spinner in action. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that you jump over to Waffle Flower Crafts and enter to win some of those giveaways. Also, if you want to see more from me, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and when I have that, I'm going to do a really big giveaway. So, thank you for subscribing. Turn on the bell to see my videos in your subscription feed, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks so much.